So quick. I don't expect to do a long review on this, but like maybe 10 minutes at best. Uncut Gems. This is one of the ones that I'm hearing a lot of Oscar buzz from, and quite frankly, I didn't want to go see The Grudge, because there's movies that are clearly bad movies that I'll go see for a good review, and then there's movies that I clearly don't want to see, or clearly bad movies that I frankly know is going to be a boring review, and that's The Grudge. So instead, I figured I'd catch up on at least one of the films from last year, Uncut Gems. And a couple of the films are getting a wide release throughout the month, like 1917 is getting a wide release, Just Mercy. But Uncut Gems, the Adam Sandler film. And I'm hearing Oscar buzz from Adam Sandler from this. In one word, I heard someone describe it best, and I agree with this statement. Manic. Woo. I get a similar vibe from this that I got coming out of The Joker. And if anyone here has been watching for any extended period of time, and you watched our Joker review, it was one of those weird things for The Joker where I'm like, I recognized how good the film I was watching was, but I felt as though there was something about it that didn't click for me all the way in terms of like, I love this movie. Maybe it was too visceral, maybe it's too realistic, maybe there was a pacing issue, maybe there was a character issue. I don't know exactly what it was. Maybe it just hit me so hard, like from an emotional standpoint, that it just didn't work for me. And I got a similar vibe from this, that level of uncomfortable, I think, is the perfect way to describe this movie. There's a level of unease, level of uncomfortability about this film that's sickeningly riveting. Because it's about a guy he's not necessarily a con artist, but he's a guy who's in debt with the show, who's like, one of those guys who, all right, I'm going to pawn this off to pay this guy, but it belonged to this guy who I'm already owing for this guy. He's one of those kind of guys. He owns like a jeweler's, and he's in deep, but he keeps trying to get these schemes together to make enough money to pay off all his debts and all that. And he's got a gambling problem, if I were to guess. And it's again, like I said, it's a similar thing to Joker. I can buy into how good this film is, why it's getting the praise it is, but there's a riveting level of unease about this film. Like, things just keep going wrong for this character, and the deeper it gets, the worse it gets. You're like, it's like, I don't want to keep watching, but I kind of have to, just to see if he gets his ass out of this situation. And I'm not going to go into what the ending is, but it's honestly a realistic ending, in terms of how this could play out in the real world. Sometimes there's good endings, sometimes there's bad endings. Sometimes life does in fact turn out to work out in the end, and sometimes it doesn't. I'm not going to say which one it is, but it did feel like a very real ending how it ended. Sandler, all the Oscar buzz I'm hearing about him, I can completely understand it. Will he get a nomination this year? Who knows? This is like every year we talk about how stacked a year in the Oscars it is, but this is a stacked year this year. Like, seriously, this is a stacked year. There's not much I could say about without going too much into spoiler. Kevin Durant's in the film, or not Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant. Oh, I know. Yeah, Kevin. Kevin Garnett. What? The basketball player. Is it Kevin Durant? I thought it was Kevin Durant. They kept saying. Kept calling him KC. Whatever. Or KG. I thought I was saying Kevin Garnett or something like that for a while. I'm like, what? He's in the film, and the reason I believe it's called, and I think the reason it's called Uncut Gems is one of the focal points is this rare opal that gets Adam Sandler gets a hold of, and B, I think it's a metaphor for the value of something that's unrefined, unpolished, and the value you can see in it. And I think that might be the subtext of the film. And there's a line at the end where when you win, nothing else matters. I think that's another point of the film too. But overall, I did like the film. I very much liked the film. But it is one of those films that I don't know. If I have to sit on it to see how I really feel about it. But yeah, it's it's again one of those weird feels where I recognize how good the film I'm watching is. I will say this though, if there's one complaint I had, there's some scenes that did just drag for no real. This movie clocks in, I think, about 2 hours and 14 minutes. It felt like that. It felt like I was sitting there for a while. Again, riveted to what I was watching, even if it was like an unease, a riveting unease. But I did feel the 2 hours 14 minutes. You probably could have shaved off. By the way, I'm not wearing lipstick or anything. My lips just look really red in this light. Probably could have shaved off a good 10 minutes. Film wouldn't have suffered for it. Probably would have flowed a little better, if I'm going to be honest. There's a couple scenes that don't add up to anything. They're just there. I think they're just to show what his daily life is like, or what his, or kind of like what he's dealing with in all aspects of his life. And most of that works. Some of it could have just been taken out. So, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Again, most people are really liking this film, from what I understand. I actually ran into a buddy of mine who just got out of Star Wars, and we talked a little bit Star Wars, and we talked a little bit about Uncut Gems, and yeah, we both agree, it's like, that's a gut punch. Yeah. But anyway, that's my thought on Uncut Gems. I haven't really done trailers in a while, but I can probably remember a couple of the trailers right off the top of my head. Antebellum, I'm still trying to figure out what that's about. The best I can gather, because it seems to take place in both the past and the modern day. It's from the director of Get Out and Us, meaning, so it's from Jordan Peele. I think it's dealing with some sort of time shenanigans and maybe people being kidnapped into black people being kidnapped into slavery from the future into the past, but the past is encroaching on the future. That's the closest I can get to what this film is about. Like, hell, I wasn't able to tell you exactly what Get Out was about until watching the movie, or what Us is about until watching the movie. So, I mean, I could give you the bare bone pretense of this. This one, I can't do that. Like, I don't know what this film is about. And then we got, crap. Isla Rae, and I can't remember. I can't remember her accent. Is it Isla Rae or Isla Rae? Either way, rhyme. Segue. I believe she's on a show, and I can't remember the name of the show. It's a popular show too. She's branching out more into her film career. It's basically just about love relationships. I'm like, look, I can dig on that kind of thing a little bit. I don't know if I'll go see it, but I can respect a film like that. Relationships, love, romance. Those are, to me, those are important things in life. We all deserve a little bit of that sometimes. A new trailer for Like a Boss. I think it's a little better than the first trailer, but I still have no real interest in this movie. But I'll probably be there, maybe. Well, no, that week is Underwater and probably something else. We'll see what happens. I know I'm catching Underwater first next week. That's my go-to movie next week. I know we had a few other trailers. But unfortunately, they are blanking. Saint Mary or Saint Maud or something like that, where she's a religious nut, and I think there's a possession angle to it, where she's a caretaker for a woman, but she's so religious, trying to save the woman's soul, and she's going through clearly some extreme freaking means. You see her covered in blood. You see her putting nails in her feet and in her shoes and walking on the nails. Like it's unsettling, and I've met people who feel like God is literally inside them. So yeah, and let me tell you, they're uncomfortable because they will just start talking to you about God and Jesus and wanting you to go to heaven. I dealt with a woman like that at work one time, just trying to help her find dog food, and she just starts, I said you're an atheist, and I want everyone to go to heaven, so you should look into this guy, and this guy's like, okay, thank you for that. The dog food I recommend is this one, and I think it was her brother with her, and he just has this look on his face like, I'm sorry about this. Look, if you're religious, you have your faith and beliefs, that's fine. Just don't force yourself on people, okay? If you want to try to persuade someone, try to show someone a different path, that's one thing, but don't just, hey, God, convert to Jesus, convert to Christianity, convert to Judaism. Hold your horses, back up. Hi, let's start with introducing ourselves first. I know there's a couple other trailers, but I can't for life me remember them. Anyway, though, that's my thoughts on Uncut Gems. It was a quick review. Like I said, no more than 10 minutes, maybe. Okay, going on 11, but you know what I mean. But next week is going to be Underwater. That I don't know what it is. I've just been looking forward to that one. I love me creature features, vein of Leviathan, Deep Star 6. What are some of a little bit of the Abyss there, except less than friendly, in terms of the creatures. Hell, the Meg was fun. I dig me creature features. Underwater creature features are just as good. So, good times. And there's probably other movies, because there are like 4 or 5 movies coming out next week, wide release. So I'll probably be catching at least 2. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I got Who Would Win to do tomorrow. That's all I got to do tomorrow. Technically today, because I think I'm just going to upload this in the morning. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, folks. Have a good one.